If you have an anxious attachment and you appreciate good advice, stick around. This is from the comment section and someone who has obviously done some inner healing work. The commenter says, it's also important for the anxious to detach and let go. Quit fixating on the outcome of the relationship. It's extremely hard, but necessary. Focus. I love that this is coming from someone who has an anxious attachment style. The anxious attacher will reject and resist the idea that they can stand in their own frame. For many of you, being outcome-driven just looks like forecasting your future. You think you're just daydreaming, and there's no harm in that. This is a good opportunity to take a breath in and let it out. What I tell you next is going to change the way that you look at your relationships. When you forecast into the future about your relationship, what you're really looking for is certainty. You constantly seek validation and confirmation that the other person isn't going to leave you. And what this feels like to the other person is that you're making them responsible for your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And they're thinking, I can't handle all of your emotions and mine. This can be overwhelming for those who even have a secure attachment style. It quickly turns into the self-fulfilling prophecy. That need for certainty and the fear that this person is going to leave or abandon you actually cultivates the environment for that to happen. Keep in mind, this isn't blaming you, it's just an awareness of you. And understanding that your behavior and coping mechanisms can directly impact your relationships. This can be positive and negative. So how do you stop being so outcome-driven in your relationships? Number one, you have to learn to make yourself a priority. Building and cultivating self-love, keeping the small promises that you make to yourself each day, learning to trust yourself and your discernment. It's understanding that you're going to break yourself trying to figure out the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of somebody else. You may become obsessive or fixated on trying to solve this puzzle of a human being. We also have to take time to go back to the beginning of the relationship and understand the story that you've been telling yourself about this relationship. Who this person is, what they're all about. How well do you know them? How much time have you actually spent with them? Did you pre-qualify this person before getting into a relationship with them by looking at their online profiles and social media? And that helps you build the story of the next 6 months of your relationship. Now, what you have to understand is you didn't ask for an insecure attachment style. But now that you know a thing or two and you've cultivated some self-awareness, it is your job to start healing that insecure attachment style. On this account, we focus on healing the relationship that you have with yourself. Learning to understand who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, and why you're doing it. It takes time and a lot of effort, but that's the power of personal development and self-education. You don't need anybody to give you permission to do that.